SEO This Week, episode 31. Hi, everyone. My name is Clint Butler, and welcome to another Digitaleer episode of SEO This Week. This is where we do a roll up of all the latest marketing news, including social media, search, conversions, pay-per-click, all that kind of cool guy stuff. So, without further ado, let's get started. Our first post today is on SEObythesea.com and is a look at a Google patent. The patent was filed in 2012, but looks like it recently published. And what they look at is social media influencer scores. It's pretty interesting. The author here, Bill Slosky, likens it to the system put in place on Clout and how Google is leveraging or looking at your position in the social sphere, and just kind of figuring how is this going to apply with the rankings. So, in my opinion, this is kind of goes hand in hand with the old author rank theory that Google is taking your publisher status as a internet content provider, and looking at what you are producing, whether you're considered a influencer or not, and then could potentially leverage all that stuff together and say, hey, anything produced by this person about X topic is considered more authoritative than if it was published by Y person on a different site. So it's really interesting, just kind of a different perspective. Not a lot of technical stuff in here as compared to his other posts, and I think you're going to actually enjoy it, and just gets the old brain juices going. If anything, it kind of just builds the importance of why you should be using social media for your search engine optimization and engaging with the other people, and finding the right networks where the right people are at. Obviously, you only have so much time in a day, so you can't do all of the social networks. But if your followers are on Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus, for instance, then you should be there, at least publishing content and engaging with the people as much as you can, and don't ignore it. On the flip side of that is now you don't really have to worry so much about being everywhere and everything for everyone, because you can find your targeting, create a really good influencer score, quote unquote, for yourself and your brand on those specific sites, and do pretty well for yourself. So something to look at. Check out this post. The next site we're looking at is KISSmetrics, how to leverage your creativity to convert leads. This is actually a pretty good post. I think maybe the headline kind of is it's okay. Basically, what this post is going into is changing the way you're doing things and doing things different to make you stand out of the crowd, including be memorable, be original. And just don't spit off the same type of headlines in your emails, for example, or your titles and your search engine optimization, or when you're writing content or your pay-per-click. Just do something a little bit different to kind of make you stand out from the noise in the marketing space. And then also it goes into looking at your marketing copy and why you should be using emotions. A lot of different kind of theories on that. My take is, if you're writing stuff, you should write a headline in order to get someone to read the first paragraph or the first sentence in the first paragraphs of your copy, and then go from there. And that's basically where this goes. Just being creative, using your imagination. Sometimes, though, copying other people's stuff that works is the right thing, and maybe you just have to put your own little spin on it. So again, interesting perspective. It's a short article for KISSmetrics, so I think you'll enjoy it. Next is RazerSocial.com, and it's called. This post is a streamlined video production process. Not so much as a checklist, but basically step 1, step 2, step 3. Basically, set up the video, record the video, edit the video, and create the thumbnail, and then upload it, and then promote your video. I think this could probably make for a really good checklist if someone wants to create something like that. Just go in here, look at the main topics, create a checklist step by step of what you do in that second piece, and you can create yourself an ultimate guide to video marketing. The problem here is that the just some businesses just don't have the time to do this, so you might have to leverage some people to create this stuff. But in the end, at least you'll have a little thing going on for yourself where you know what's going on. This is a really good post for people who are brand new to it, not so much if you're seasoned. So keep that in mind when you're looking at this post. Next is SeerInteractive.com. The page is utilizing page value in Google Analytics to improve your SEO strategy. This is a good one. It looks at the page value and then how to read that in Google Analytics in order to decide which pages you want to turn more of your traffic to. So let's say we have a page speed optimization service, and we know that page value is $30. Let's just pull a number out of my hat. So that page value is $30 inside of Google Analytics, and I want to increase. And I'm seeing that I'm not driving a whole lot of traffic to it, but my conversions are really high based on the goals and settings that are inside of GA. So what I want to do is re-aim my internal linking to drive more traffic to that page, because I know I get good conversions. The more traffic I get, the higher my page value is. So that's a really cool idea on how to leverage that for internal linking. And the same thing is just going into, you do that with pay-per-click, for example. Find your page values, you know that it's really high, so now I can drive more traffic to that page. There's some other things in here on how to clean up your views, but for the most part, I think that internal linking is probably the number one thing I would look at here. There is a caveat to this. You have to know how to set up goals, how to use those, and determine the conversion value. But once you get that done, you get some data going, and you're off to the races using that page value mark, and kind of make some money off of what you're already doing. Next is a Whiteboard Friday video from Rand Frischkin. It's taking a look at pop-ups, overlays, modals, and interstitials, and how they interact with SEO. It's pretty good. It kind of breaks down the 4 different definitions. I.e., what is a modal versus a pop-up. They're 2 different things. And then how to use those, not so much to hurt your own SEO efforts. Really, the biggest thing here is keep in mind when using all of these features is that mobile can get you in trouble if they're interacting or interfering with the overall user experience. So just implement those wisely. But the video is actually pretty good. I think you'll like it. Get some juices flowing, and then help you decide whether you want to leverage some of these options. A lot of people frown on modals and pop-ups. However, they're still working. So regardless of what you think about it, remember you are a marketer. Take the emotion out of your marketing and implement it, at least to test to see if it's going to generate you some leads. If it doesn't work on your site with your market, then take it off. But at least you know, and you can say for a fact that they don't work. Don't make these decisions based off of your personal likes and dislikes. Remember, this is business, this is marketing, not friending. Search Engine Journal is the next post, and 6 things you must do before you accept guest posts. Now, we have a guest post service on Digitaleer. It's pretty good, where we go out and contact other websites and say, hey, we'd like to publish it on your site. I see you're accepting guest posts. Can we post this article? And the main reason to do it is link building and branding. You get your name out there, you get your business's brand out there, and on top of that, you get the benefit of a backlink from good sites, depending on your filtering, etc. As with anything, though, you can run into some issues. Sometimes what you think would be a good site, you start digging into the metrics of it and realize that it's not so much. So you just got to be a little bit careful when you're doing guest posting. Now, when you're allowing guest posts on your site, you have to keep in mind that you are going to get an extra level of work, mainly in the editorial space, i.e., looking at this content, make sure it's right for your site, make sure it's well written, make sure it's not someone else's stuff, etc. So I think this post will really help you do that, help you find out why you want to allow guest posting, creating some guidelines to do it, highlight the stats in order to get more writers, and then create a promotion plan to it. One of the key things here is that when you allow people to guest post on your sites, most times, if they're good at it, they will promote their guest post on your website. There's a benefit for them to do that. So you get free website promotion on top of your own promotion policies. That's good. And then, I like this idea. I think it's a good way to generate content and to stay relevant in your market. And if you just don't have the time to do that all yourself, then guest posting is a perfectly good option to leverage. Next, we'll go to HubSpot.com. It's 9 link building email outreach templates that actually work. These are pretty good, actually. The templates are here. You can click on it. You have to opt in to get them. But there's 9 of them here. Is preview of the content, getting exclusive offer, did you know kind of thing, and a bunch of other different templates to look at. It just goes beyond the broken link building. Hey, I was on your site and I found this broken link and I had this great article that might fill the gap. But you can certainly add these to your outreach templates. The key here is when you're leveraging these is you don't want to sound like everyone else, because people are just getting kind of tired of being emailed link requests. So you want to make these stand out a little bit more and provide more value to them, and show why your stuff works really well. I think you'll find that for the most part, your success rate using email outreach is going to be pretty low. So just plan on doing something like this for the long haul. Maybe 25 to 50 emails a day is a good plan when you know you're going to do an email outreach campaign. If you get one out of those 50 and it happens to be a really good link, these days with SEO being the quality of the link is more important than the quantity of the links, I think you'll see a good return on investment, especially if you already have set templates to build upon and figure out which ones are converting early on in your campaigns and just use those over and over again for different pieces. So try that out. Great post. Again, you got to opt in to get the templates, but that's okay. Next is SEM Rush, how to nail SEO, PPC, and CRO for e-commerce. I'm going to tell you, go ahead and skip the first section of this entire post. It's written really bad. Like, it's horrible. I had to read it 5 times just to kind of figure out where the heck the author was going. There's so many different points in there. There's no rhyme or reason to the points, and it just kind of bounces around. And my ADHD, OCD, and my annoyance with the first section was just kind of beyond, to the point where I just can't even recommend you reading that anymore. I'm sure all taken apart, this would be some good information, but when it's all slammed together like this without rhyme or reason, it is horrible. Go ahead and scroll down to the common mistakes in e-commerce. 2 that I like to point out is using the same title and meta descriptions on all the pages. That's standard practice. We see that happening a lot, especially in e-com sites. Or sites that have to, create a lot of little pieces of content for a lot of different products. Make sure you're taking the time to create unique stuff for each one of your products. And then another one is, and we were guilty of it too, is using manufacturer product descriptions. You want to have those in there. However, you want them to be optimized in such a way that they are more unique on your site than everyone else's. So let's take a feature, for example, like bullet points the features, like the way that most manufacturers do their product descriptions, and then expand on that bullet point versus just using it plain out. Everyone was using them plain out. Even, like I said, even we were guilty of that on a couple of e-commerce sites that we created. And it ultimately, you're not adding to the value of the search. You're not competing very well with them. So Don't use them verbatim. Add to them as much as possible. Shoot for 51% unique content. So if you're going to have a 100-word description, do 110 word or 105 word add on to that. Obviously, that math, that's funny math, but you know what I mean. Make sure that you're creating as much unique stuff on there as you're adding from the manufacturers. Those are 2 big points out of that. Some other things is focus on SEO in the seasons. Promote your Christmas stuff, being Christmas, October, that kind of thing. And then use your pay-per-click ads for e-com. This section is actually pretty good. It just kind of gives you a way to break down your campaigns and the platforms that you're using based off of your categories, subcategories, and your products. It's more of a management thing, I think, than anything else. But there's just some good tips on how to look at that and what to do with it inside of your PPC accounts. In the end, like I said, skip the first section of this post. It was written horribly, and the rest of it is actually pretty good and flows well. And we're going to close out on ppchero.com is 10 alternatives to Google AdWords. They're looking at Bing Ads, Yahoo's Gemini, AdRoll, Amazon, Quantcast, buy-sell ads. Buy-sell ads is actually pretty good. We've used that a lot. Infolinks, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and Pinterest. Again, there are a bunch more. I'm sure you can do some more research. We might actually kind of complement this post and find some others just to make sure that we round out all the alternatives that are available to you. But look at these, especially if you're in a market where your PPC on AdWords is really high and you're competing. Everyone's competing to be broke on AdWords, in my opinion. So I think if you look at the Bings and 7 searches and probably Quantcast and those kind of sites, you're going to find that you'll get way less traffic, but maybe your conversions are better because you're competing with less people. So take a look at this as an option, especially if you've kind of run into a brick wall on the AdWords side. So that is episode number 31, SEO This Week. I'd like to thank you very much for listening. As always, if you have any sites that you would like us to highlight, take a look and consider to add to our follows, don't hesitate to submit them. You can click on the SEO This Week in the menu, and there's a form right there to submit your sites. And with that, I'd like to thank you for listening and have a great week.